The best way to sort of characterize the lay of the land right now, with 97 million votes already cast, that's a record for early voting, is that Joe Biden is favored to beat Donald Trump right now, but Donald Trump could still win. I think it's probably worth a little bit of expectation setting as we think about tomorrow. Everyone spins their wheels in anxiety. First thing to get through everyone's head, I think, here is that democracy is not like a sports bet, all right? There's no over-under. You don't have a line to beat. You win or you don't. For proof of that, look no further than the fact that Donald Trump is president right now because he won by less than 80,000 total votes across 3 Midwestern states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, while losing the popular vote by a wider margin than anyone who's ever been sworn in as president. And most everyone, including people in the Trump camp when they talk to reporters, expects Donald Trump to lose the popular vote again tomorrow. And there's this idea that Joe Biden needs a blowout to overcome voter suppression efforts and Trump's lawyers and, of course, the Electoral College and all these other factors stacked atop each other. And I get that. We've talked a lot about it on this show. The optimal outcome from the standpoint of American democracy and its flourishing is a massive and historic repudiation of this chapter. But just remember, the spread doesn't matter in a presidential election. What matters is that you accumulate more votes than your opponent in states that add up to 270 electoral votes. You don't need one single vote more than that. And if you get enough votes, you become president of the United States. And that is decided when all legitimate votes are counted. If that takes one night or 4 days or a week or more, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Trump says it's over before the counting is done. It's like a tweet. That's not how it works. The national NBC News polling average right now shows Joe Biden holding steady with a more than 7-point lead, which is really a lot in a country that is this polarized. Just for some context, take a look at this headline. I was just looking at this the other day from the Boston Globe. It's back in 2010, and it's after the Republican there, Scott Brown. Remember him? He won a special election, surprise upset win in Massachusetts. Big win for Brown. Republican trounces Coakley for Senate. Trounces. He trounces her. Scott Brown won the election by less than 5 points. This is a polarized and divided country. Every national race is relatively close now. There's no such thing as a 30-point blowout. We live in a divided nation, and Biden's lead, by modern standards, is big. It is sizable. It is significant, both nationally and also, crucially, in Pennsylvania, where Biden holds a lead bigger than the final margin in that race, where Scott Brown supposedly trounced his opponent. Now, we know things might look very different on election night than they will once all the votes are counted. We also know that Trump's lawyers and the GOP are using every possible legal tool and possibly some extra legal tools, frankly, as well, to intimidate voters and suppress votes and use the courts to stop certain people from voting or to throw out their votes. The way that everybody's kind of countered that is to say that the pro-democracy forces in the country need to come together and overwhelmingly repudiate the attempt to undermine our democracy. And there's good reason for people to feel that way, and it matters. The popular vote margin matters for arguments about legitimacy. Every single vote in the country matters for an expression of what this nation is. But no one should lose sight of the fact that it is nowhere in the Constitution you got to win by 8 or 9 points to take power. And no one should succumb to this idea that if Biden doesn't win by a huge margin tomorrow, well, then Trump can work the angles and get some favorable court rulings and gets to stay in power. No, that's not how it works, okay? The winner is the person who gets more votes when all the votes are counted in the states that add up to 270. Don't let them game expectations. That's it. No amount of election night presidential declarations or lying or gaslighting or spinning or lawsuits by their army of lawyers can change that basic fact.